At 56 years old, Rakim has finally broken his silence about the shocking truth behind hip hop's most devastating breakup. The legendary MC recently revealed what really happened when Eric B. and Rakim, the greatest duo in rap history, imploded at the absolute peak of their powers. But here's the twist. It's true that betrayal and legal battles tore them apart, but the real story Rakim tells isn't one of hatred. It's a tale of brotherhood, tested by business, and how that bond was ultimately repaired. To understand why their split sent shockwaves through hip hop, you need to picture the landscape they revolutionized. In the mid 1980s, rap was defined by loud, energetic artists like Run DMC and LL Cool. JMCs shouted with force and charisma, using simple rhyme patterns designed to command live audiences. Production relied on hard-hitting drum machines and rock guitar riffs. It was a culture of party rocking, where volume and personality ruled supreme. Into this world stepped Eric B. and Rakim, bringing a radically different sound from Queens and Long Island. Their partnership began in 1985 when Eric Barrier, a mobile DJ for a New York radio station, WBLS, connected through mutual friends with William Griffin Jr., a 16-year-old who had converted to Islam and taken the name Rakim Allah. Rakim was honing a lyrical style unlike anything on radio. While rap was his hobby, his main focus was a potential college football career. When Eric B. heard a tape of Rakim's rhymes, he immediately recognized singular talent. But here's where the seeds of future conflict were planted. Rakim was initially reluctant to commit to the music industry, wary of binding legal agreements. Eric B. devised what seemed like a simple solution. He proposed that Rakim appear on their debut single as a guest, a featured artist, which wouldn't require a long-term contract. Their first single, released on Zakia Records in 1986, was officially credited as Eric B. featuring Rakim. The A-side was titled Eric B. is President, immediately positioning Eric as the primary artist and proprietor. While this branding launched their careers, it created a structural power dynamic that would fester over time. Years later, as fame and financial stakes grew, Rakim would express feeling trapped in a deal structured to benefit Eric B. more than himself. Eric B. is President, and his B-side, My Melody, were street-level sensations in summer 1986, leading to a deal with Fourth and B-Way Records. The impact was immediate and profound, representing a complete paradigm shift from prevailing hip-hop aesthetics. Rakim's approach revolutionized the art form. Where contemporaries shouted, he was calm and methodical. He employed a slow flow, a relaxed, stoic delivery that was blunt and mesmeric. His true revolution was in his writing. Rakim treated rhyming as literary craft, filling bars with elaborate metaphors, complex internal rhymes, and multisyllabic schemes that ignored traditional bar lines. His delivery was inspired by playing saxophone and admiring jazz legends like John Coltrane. He sought to mimic improvisational rhythms and free-form solos with his vocal cadence. This writerly, intricate style transformed the MC's art. As historian Jelani Cobb noted, Rakim's arrival heralded the arrival of a whole other approach to the form. He established new benchmarks for lyrical complexity and sophistication. Over 6 years, Eric B. and Rakim released 4 studio albums that defined their legacy and charted hip-hop's golden age course. Each album was a distinct artistic evolution step, consistently placing them at the genre's forefront. Paid in Full, released July 7, 1987, was a watershed moment. Reportedly recorded in just 1 week, it left a mushroom cloud over the hip-hop community. Eric B's production marked a new era of heavy sampling. built on gritty, dark, soul-drenched loops, notably from James Brown's catalog. Follow the Leader in 1988 expanded their foundation featuring more complex cinematic soundscapes. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em in 1990 was formalist perfection, a deliberate choice to perfect their signature sound rather than chase emerging trends. Their final album, Don't Sweat the Technique, released June 23rd, 1992, found them at their creative peak, featuring head-cracking snares, soulful horns, and manic tempos. The title track became their first and only single to top the Billboard Hot Rap Songs chart. All four albums achieved significant chart success and critical acclaim, solidifying their reputation as hip-hop's premier DJ MC team. This consistent success makes their breakup even more shocking. They didn't split due to fading popularity, but at their absolute creative and commercial peak. The catalyst for their split was their MCA Records contract ending with Don't Sweat the Technique. With obligations fulfilled, both members expressed interest in pursuing solo projects. According to Rakim's detailed 2018 NPR interview account, Eric B. approached him with a specific business strategy. The plan was for Eric B. to record a solo album, followed by Rakim's solo album. After these individual projects, they would reunite for one final Eric B. and Rakim album to complete contract terms and position themselves for a new, more lucrative deal. Each artist would retain all profits from their respective solo albums. From Rakim's perspective, this straightforward business plan quickly devolved into betrayal. He honored his agreement, signing the necessary release contract, allowing Eric B. to move forward with his solo project. However, when time came for Rakim to begin his album, he alleged Eric B. refused to sign his release. Rakim interpreted this refusal as deliberate sabotage. He believed Eric B. was convinced that if Rakim released a successful solo album, he would never return to the group, so Eric was holding his career hostage. This transformed the situation from business negotiation into personal and professional crisis. For years afterward, Rakim consistently framed the split as a business problem, not personal feud. In a 2018 Rolling Stone interview, he was adamant, "Me and Eric didn't have a problem. We had a business problem. We never had a fight before. I never swung at him. He never swung at me." Eric B.'s narrative offers different motivations. He acknowledged refusing to sign the release, but attributed it to deep-seated fear that Rakim would abandon the partnership if he achieved solo success. This explanation paints his actions as not as malicious betrayal, but as defensive measure born of insecurity about the duo's future. Eric B. consistently deflected notion the financial disputes between him and Rakim. With the problem's heart, he maintained any monetary issues stemmed from record labels like Island and MCA and their claims of ownership over album master recordings. He was emphatic that profits from their duo work were always divided equally. Eric B. also pointed to external influences as division sources. In a 2016 interview, he specifically named producer Large Professor, who worked with them on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, as one of the guys that caused division between me and Rakim. Regardless of precise motivations, the contractual standoff resulted in a protracted legal battle involving Eric B., Rakim, and MCA Records. This legal quagmire effectively put both careers on ice for several years. Rakim's creative freedom was stalled, as he was legally unable to release new music without the signed release from his former partner. This multi-year hiatus was devastating, sidelining two of hip-hop's most important figures during rapid genre evolution and innovation. The momentum they built over 4 classic albums was brought to grinding halt by legal wrangling, not any studio decline. When they finally emerged as solo artists, their subsequent careers followed starkly different trajectories. After a 5-year hiatus, anticipation for Rakim's solo return was immense. In 1997, he signed with Universal Records and released The 18th Letter. The album was a resounding success, met with widespread critical acclaim and strong commercial performance. It debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and was certified gold, selling over 500,000 copies. The album's success powerfully validated Rakim's individual artistry, featuring production from East Coast legends including DJ Premier and Pete Rock. The 18th Letter proved Rakim's lyrical prowess wasn't dependent on Eric B's production. Tracks like It's Been a Long Time and Guess Who's Back showcased a master lyricist who hadn't lost a step. The New York Times noted his masterly command of rhyming had only deepened with time. In contrast, Eric B's foray into solo career was short-lived and unsuccessful. In 1995, he released his self-titled album on his independent label, 95th Street Recordings. The album was met with muted response and is widely regarded as a critical and commercial failure. Following this experience, Eric B. largely pivoted away from being a recording artist. The starkly different outcomes of their solo careers profoundly impacted how their shared legacy was understood. Rakim's continued success reinforced the belief that he was the transcendent talent, a generational artist whose skills stood alone. After nearly 25 years of professional separation, the story took an unexpected turn. Eric B. and Rakim reconnected in 2016, leading to announcement of a reunion tour in 2017 and 2018. The tour celebrated the 30th anniversary of Paid in Full, with the duo performing their classic catalog to sold-out crowds. The reunion began with a historic show at Harlem's Apollo Theater, featuring hip-hop royalty, including EPMD, Ice-T, and Flavor Flav, paying tribute to their enduring influence. The tour was well received, with performances described as showing they hadn't missed a step. In joint interviews promoting the tour, both artists made concerted efforts to downplay past conflict bitterness. They consistently recast their breakup narrative, framing it not as personal fallout but as business dispute between young men who were at their core family and brothers. Eric B. stated, "I can go not talking to my brother for a year or 2 years and he's still my brother. Regardless to what you hear or what we go through, we're still family." Rakim echoed this sentiment, reiterating it was just the business that went bad and they were men, we stubborn. This public reframing was crucial legacy preservation. By presenting their split as professional disagreement, ultimately overcome by fraternal bond, they shifted focus away from acrimony and back onto timeless music they created together. Rakim's innovations in flow, rhyme patterns, and lyrical complexity created the modern MC template, influencing every generation of elite lyricists from Nas and Jay-Z to Eminem and Kendrick Lamar. His cool, effortless delivery and intellectual content elevated rap from simple art form to complex poetic medium. Their story remains hip-hop's greatest what if, a partnership of unparalleled synergy cut short not by creative decline, but by predictable yet tragic pressures of business and burgeoning individuality. While their contributions are foundational and influence eternal, their reunion allowed them to preserve their legacy as hip-hop's greatest duo, a story where brotherhood ultimately won over business. What do you think about Rakim finally telling his side of the story. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more legendary hip-hop stories.